Millionaire's deaf son cried nonstop on the plane until a little girl used sign language. The moment the private jet door closed, the silence shattered, not with engines roaring but with the piercing, nonstop wails of a little boy. Above the clouds, amid the polished luxury of leather seats and silver trays, 10-year-old Ethan, the son of a billionaire, was inconsolable. His hands flailed, his face scrunched in frustration, and tears streamed relentlessly. His father, a man used to controlling boardrooms and billion-dollar deals, looked helpless. Money had bought everything: private tutors, doctors, even the latest high-tech gadgets, but it couldn't buy peace for his deaf son. Every attempt at distraction, every shiny toy or soothing word, failed. Ethan's world was silent, and the airplane cabin felt impossibly small. Passengers shifted uncomfortably. The hum of polite concern filled the air, until a small voice cut through the tension. "Why is he crying?" a little girl asked, her wide brown eyes curious. She was no older than 7, seated a few rows ahead. Unlike the other passengers, she didn't avert her gaze. She looked at Ethan with something the adults had forgotten: pure empathy. Her mother shrugged apologetically. "I don't know, maybe he's upset." The girl didn't speak again. Instead, she leaned forward, her small hands beginning to move gracefully in the air. Ethan froze mid-cry. He recognized the motions immediately: sign language. It was as if the chaos of the world had paused for him. "Hi," she signed. "I'm Lily. Are you okay?" Ethan blinked, confused but captivated. No one had ever tried to speak to him in a language he understood so naturally. Slowly, his hands stopped flailing. He responded, hesitant at first, but then with growing confidence. "I'm scared," Ethan signed back. "Flying is scary," Lily replied, her fingers flowing gently. "I get scared too. But it's okay. You're not alone." Something shifted in the cabin. The adults leaned in, stunned. A tiny girl had done what no one else could. She reached across the invisible barrier of silence and fear, touching a world Ethan had felt was always just out of reach. Minutes passed. The crying stopped entirely, replaced by a quiet conversation in gestures, laughter bubbling as they exchanged favorite things and little stories. Ethan's father watched, tears threatening, finally realizing that no wealth or power could substitute the simplest act of human kindness. But just when he thought the moment was perfect, a turbulence shook the plane. Lily gripped Ethan's hands instinctively, signing quickly. "It's okay, I'm here." Ethan nodded, clutching her tiny hands. The fear returned, but the courage stayed. He wasn't alone anymore. By the time the plane touched down, Ethan was smiling, exhausted but happy. His father, humbled and awestruck, bent down and whispered, "Thank you, Lily. You've taught me something money never could." Lily shrugged, grinning. He just needed someone to talk to the way he hears it. And in that moment, the billionaire realized that true connection doesn't come from wealth or influence. It comes from seeing someone's world and choosing to enter it, even for a few minutes. From that day on, Ethan wasn't just a boy who cried on planes. He was a boy who knew kindness existed in the world, carried by the smallest, most unexpected hands. And sometimes, that's all it takes to change a life. After that flight, Ethan's world felt different. For the first time, he realized that communication wasn't just about words. It was about attention, patience, and understanding. His father, once preoccupied with meetings, profits, and appearances, started seeing the world through Ethan's eyes. At home, the house that had always felt empty and too quiet began to change. His father hired a full-time sign language tutor, not because it was a status symbol, but because he genuinely wanted to connect. Family dinners became moments of laughter and animated conversations in gestures that everyone slowly learned. Ethan never forgot Lily. He wrote her letters in sign language videos showing his drawings and stories. One day, the billionaire arranged for Lily and her mother to visit him, making it a small, private gathering on a sunny afternoon. When Lily arrived, Ethan ran to her, signing quickly and excitedly about all the things he had learned. from new words to how he had faced small fears every day. Lily's eyes sparkled with joy. "You've grown so much," she signed back, "and look at all the smiles you've created." The father, watching from the side, felt a warmth he hadn't felt in years. It wasn't pride in wealth or status. It was awe at witnessing pure human connection. In Lily, Ethan had found a friend. In Ethan, the father had found a teacher. And in that simple exchange of understanding, all three learned a powerful lesson. No matter how far apart people seem, even across the barriers of silence, age, or status, compassion is a language everyone understands. Over the years, Ethan and Lily stayed close. Their friendship inspired other children at school to learn sign language, to notice the quiet ones, and to reach out with kindness. Ethan's father began funding programs to teach children across the country how to communicate with those who are deaf or hard of hearing, turning a single act of kindness into a ripple that touched countless lives. And every time Ethan stepped onto an airplane, he no longer feared the journey. Because somewhere in the world, there was always a Lily, a person willing to reach out with patience, understanding, and a little bit of magic called empathy. The boy who once cried nonstop on a plane became a young man who knew the true power of human connection. And it all began with a little girl who took the time to sign, "You're not alone."